Welcome to the Should I Watch It podcast. This episode, having consumed more than 7,500 episodes of TV from more than 250 shows. That's right, if you do the maths, it's more than 6,000 hours of watching TV. Totally disgusting. Would you please welcome your host with the square eyes, Neil. Hey guys, thanks so much to the incredible voiceover guy, whoever that bloke is. He has an amazing voice. As he said, my name's Neil, and welcome to the first episode of the Should I Watch It podcast, the show that gives you a spoiler-free look into the best shows you're not watching yet, that is. So here's how this show works. Each episode, what I'm going to do is run you through a TV show you mightn't have heard of, let you know what the show's about, what my thoughts are on it, what the critics think about it, what similar shows are out there like it, and lastly of all, should you watch it? So tonight we're going to be looking at the TV show Happy. Now many of you may not have heard of the series Happy before. Basically it's a fantasy / black comedy / action / comic book type show. It's about a disgraced cop turned hitman called Nick Sachs. Now side note, he's actually played by Christopher Maloney, who many of you might know as Elliot Stabler in Law & Order. He is a heavy drinker, he's a substance abuser, and look, after having a heart attack, Nick comes into contact with Happy, who's played by Patton Oswalt, who is a, yes, wait for it, a blue-winged animated cartoon unicorn. Happy explains that he is an imaginary friend of Haley, a girl who's been kidnapped by Bad Santa. Now, this all sounds absolutely ridiculous, and that's because it is, and it's fantastic. It is a comedy which is incredibly violent, it has a lot of drugs, has a lot of sexual references, but best of all, it has an animated unicorn, and he is every bit as innocent as he sounds. Now, throughout the show, obviously Nick introduces Happy into his world, and it's funny to see the consequences of it. This show really is about the dichotomy of the friendship between Happy and Nick, which at the start obviously is a very, very odd couple. It's a show that doesn't take itself too seriously. I mean, medically, Nick Sachs should probably die at least once an episode, yet it still leaves you hanging for the next episode. It's incredibly over the top, incredibly violent. I mean, to frame this show, Jerry Springer actually cameos as himself on the Jerry Springer Show in an episode. That's the type of show we're talking about. And the funny thing is, it actually does use Law & Order shots of Elliot Stabler in some of the episodes, which is really funny, referencing back to Nick Sachs being a cop. Now, what do the critics think of it? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, 79% of critics liked it, but they did only give it an average of 6.2 out of 10. Metacritic gave it 65%, and IMDb, which is done by users, gave it 8.3 out of 10. Some of the things the critics are saying, Ben Travers from IndieWire says it's a cute, classic, odd couple. Travis Johnson from Filming says it's a deranged, hyper-violent, grotesque, too clever by half, but with a hidden heart that won't stop beating. I really like that actually review because it is spot on. Thanks, Travis. Brad Newsom from the Sydney Morning Herald says you might even find it jerks a tear or two out of you when you least expect it. Absolutely marvellous. And an anonymous IMDb user says, keep in mind it was based on a comic and the visuals feel like it jumped right off the page onto the screen. And I completely agree with that. Similar shows on TV you would say would be something like The Punisher, but it's actually a comedy. And I'm referencing The Punisher on Netflix. One Metacritic user summed it up perfectly and said it's Barney meets Scarface. It's Tinker Bell meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, big question, should I watch it? Well, if you don't like comedies that include language, drugs, excessive violence, sexual references, probably not for you. Otherwise, if that sounds like your type of show, absolutely get around it. It's a fantastic show. Not a lot of people are watching it and not a lot of people are aware of it, but it really, really does hook you in. It's excessive and it's hilarious at the same time, with Happy being introduced into the world of Nick Sachs, the violent hitman. Season 2 premieres in Easter 2019. Season 1 is already on Netflix, as I said, in Australia. You'd have to check your local streaming services around the world, but it is an absolutely fantastic watch and a great binge watch as well. I watched it when it was live, and it had me hanging on the edge of my seat, so I could only imagine how rewarding it would be to watch it in a binge. Well, that's it for today, guys. If you like the show or want to give any feedback whatsoever, jump on iTunes right now, subscribe, and most importantly, rate us. Doesn't matter if it's a 5-star or 1-star. We'd love to get your feedback. Also, give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter for all your TV news and next episode updates. We'll see you again on the next episode where we're going to be reviewing the TV show The Magicians. Cheers.